She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Have you fallen into the myth of overnight success? Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Today we're going to be talking about not just success, but what does it take actually to be an entrepreneur, to have a business? Do you have to go to college? Do you have to graduate from Harvard or Cambridge or some Ivy League school? I might have benefited if I actually went to school. Anyway, do we need that in order to become successful? So oftentimes, people have this mindset and belief that the only way they can increase their income is if they actually go to college, or if, by chance, that they meet the right people. If they get lucky, they marry the right person. None of that has anything to do with it. In fact, all of that is a giant myth. So is overnight success. Success takes time. It takes time. You know, there's that certain season of the year where a farmer or even a gardener is planting seed in the ground. It takes time for that seed to germinate. It takes time for it to become a sprout. It takes time for it to then start to get a little bit of strength and become a stalk. And then eventually it begins to flower. And then through more time, more and more time, at the same time, we're supposed to be nurturing that seed, that sprout. We're supposed to be taking care of it, caring for it, feeding it, watering it, making sure it's not getting too much sun or too much cold. And so this seed takes time to go from seed to the actual fruit. It takes time. Some things take longer than others, and most people fail to understand that success takes time. We found this quote from Winston Churchill, pretty successful man, pretty famous, still is famous even though he's dead. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Whoa, I need to get there. Walking from failure to failure with no loss of, enthusiasm. That's what he calls success. You see, success so much is a mindset. It's how we think. It's how we approach life. It's the decisions that we make. And we live in a society that has completely painted this picture for you and me of what success looks like. Houses, cars, stuff, right? And then we go and we charge and get mortgages and we go into debt to get that stuff. And now those things don't feel like success. They feel like a giant burden. Why? Because the path in which they told us to get those things. Not only that, do you really want those things? Think about it. Do you really want those things? Or do you just want them because somebody else has told you that that's what success looks like? Well, here on the Dani Johnson Show, every single day, we challenge the mindset of what others call success. We challenge the status quo. In fact, even to obliterate the status quo. And we help you to define what is success for you. What were you designed to do? What is your calling? Why are you here? What are your talents? What are your abilities? And how are you using them for the greater good of humanity? How are you using them to make a difference in the world today? Well, today, we're going to put the focus, as we do every day this week, we put the focus on your career or business, and maybe even challenging your mind to think beyond how you've been thinking already that creates ruts and hindrances. And let's shatter those walls that you have and get out there and do something great with your life. So we've got some people that we have calling in today that are going to talk about, well, what does it actually really take to become successful? What things do you have to jump over? What hurdles, what things were in your way in order to do that? So we've got, first of all, joining us, Wendy and Primo from Jacksonville, Texas. Wendy is a business owner. And Wendy, what kind of things did you have to bust through? And what type of business did you start? And why did you have to start that business? Or why did you choose to start that business?
Well, hello, yes, ma'am. I chose to start it to have income, to create an income for the future, not just something that I had to go to work for 9 to 5, and if I didn't show up, I didn't get paid. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to have more income to help my family. And so when the option was presented to me, my first thought was that I did not have the skills to do it, because I've always struggled with self-doubt, mm-hmm. and always had low self-esteem. And so I I didn't think I could do that. I don't have a business degree. It wasn't for me.
Yep.
And so it wasn't until that I, took the focus off the negative and got my confidence, through prayer and through encouragement from friends, and became teachable. And, looked to the leaders who are also in the businesses that I do, and things like that. Then I became more confident in what I was doing. And my businesses are built on relationships. You actually have to talk to people. And I wasn't good at that because by nature I'm shy. Not near like I used to be, but still I just slip into those moments. Yep. And so when I overcame that and also realized that, it's okay to fail because that's how we learn. Yep. And it's okay to say, I don't know the answer if I'm asked the question. Yep. Because any day that I learn, which hopefully is every day, then that's a win. Yep. I may not have made money that day, but I succeeded in growing in knowledge and, implementing that into the business so that way it could grow. And I know in the future that, the money will be there, but that's not the main focus. The main focus is learning and growing and helping others along the way.
And it's small successes that we build the overall larger picture of success. It's not that we jump from where we're at to, oh, boom, I got it. I won my lottery. Bam, I'm done. The timer went off. Ding. It's all cooked. It's all ready. That's not how success works. It works with small. And again, if you're looking at what Winston Churchill said, failure after failure, is going from one failure to the next failure without losing enthusiasm. Obviously, his goal was different than what most people's goals are. And so his goal was maintaining a winning attitude no matter what the score was. And so that's what I love about what you're saying, Wendy, because it really is the truth, is that if we set our goal to only be about money and that we grade everything on the size of our income, well, then our identity is wrapped up in dollars. Our identity isn't wrapped up where it should be. And so in the case with you, and this is important for learning how to succeed, you had to break some barriers and you lacked confidence. You had a lot of self-doubt. You got to trade self-doubt with faith. And how do we do that? I love what you said. This is so important and so many people miss it. And this helped me to become successful when I was that fledgling 19-year-old wet between my ears, didn't know nothing, didn't know anything about people, didn't know anything about money, didn't know anything about business. All I knew was hardship. All I knew was pain and deep suffering from the childhood that I had. And so one of the things that really made a difference for me was surrounding myself and making sure to meet people that were successful. Even if it is about learning who the owner is of a competing business, or even a completely unrelated business, you find someone that is successful at something and begin to interview those people. Begin to ask them questions. Begin to pick their brain about how, hey, did you ever doubt yourself? Or what was the biggest mistake that you made, when you started your business? And what's the biggest challenge that you've had being in business? You learn some very valuable things from these people. And what most people do when they encounter successful people is they try to size themselves up to other people's success, and they don't spend the time asking questions. Now, does that mean that you always have to just talk to people who are more successful than you? Not necessarily. But someone that is successful, they're doing something right. They're getting good results. They've got the kind of life that you want to have. And I'm not talking about stuff, because stuff can be deceiving. It can be so deceiving. Someone can live in a big, giant house, but have a big, giant mortgage and fighting with their spouse every day in and day out. They can have so much pressure on them that they have heart problems. They could have so much pressure on them that they're working 100 hours a week just to make the mortgage and the car payments. That is not success. You do not want to live like that. I believe that someone that kind of sets their own standard for what they personally want to achieve, and that's what Wendy's talking about, that I want to set a goal that every day I'm learning something. Every day I am challenging myself to grow and become more confident. Man, you can build so much with that kind of a foundation. What am I learning today? How am I growing today? What experience helped me to be better today? Because it's even in the failures, as we see from Winston Churchill, even in the failure, his challenge was that I still maintain my enthusiasm even in my failures. Whew, that's a standard. Now, that to me is real success. Why? Because he doesn't allow his outside circumstances to determine how he feels inside. I'm going to say that again. Do not allow your outside circumstances to determine how you feel inside. That's real success. That's self-control. That's sober-mindedness. That's, honestly, the mind of Christ. Do not, come on, look at it. I mean, I'm sorry to bring that conversation into this so soon. Whether you believe in him or not, he's a historical figure. Regardless if you believe he was a son of the living God or not, doesn't matter. He's a historical figure. But look, he was crucified. Now, someone from the outside would go, loser. How successful were you at what you did? You got killed. You got accused. You were proven guilty. Hello, you were guilty, buddy. That's what it says. You were guilty. That's why you were hung on a cross, fool. Do not allow your outside circumstances to shake how you feel inside and where you're going. He knew where he was going. He was going to defeat death by rising from the dead. He knew he was going to rise from the dead. He told his disciples that before it ever even happened. He knew that was coming. So even in the beating and in all that stuff, he kept his mind focused on the prize that was ahead. So this failure that you're having today, that you did a presentation today, you're trying to start a business today, didn't make any money yet, you don't have any referrals yet, it's not growing fast enough, okay? You set this goal, this high number of something you wanted to achieve, and wow, you just fell so short. Like you bombed it, baby. Like you weren't even close to achieving it. Don't allow, I'm talking to myself too, do not allow the outside circumstances to determine how you feel on the inside. That's some good stuff right there. I gotta watch this show just to catch that first segment right here. I need to watch it for me. Wendy, thank you so much for sharing that, because that right there is success. Gosh, man, right? That you have self-control over your own emotions and you choose to lead by faith regardless of what the results are. You choose to enter in and believe regardless of someone telling you no or you didn't reach your goal. Bam, I'm still going. That's good. All right, we'll continue with more after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need.
Hi, this is Dani Johnson. Let me ask you something. Do you dream about being more confident, more beautiful, more powerful? Are you that girl who never learned to wear makeup and now you're lost in a sea of YouTube videos? That busy mom who can't get enough sleep and just wants to feel pretty again? Or maybe you're that professional who wants a little more respect in the office. From the boardroom to the bedroom, celebrity makeup artist Xtina Harmsworth from XMH Beauty will help you. Xtina has a track record of making beauty easy on any budget. Her live classes, simple step-by-step professional beauty techniques and insider secrets will set you apart from the crowd. So don't sit on your dream another minute. Learn from the best. Get your exclusive free gift from Xtina today at xmhbeauty.com/Dani. That's xmhbeauty.com/DANI.
If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? Discover your own answer. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, I really wish I had the time to go and start a new business or even try to look for a brand new career. Listen, friend, I wish I could is nothing but an excuse. And you really have to make a decision. And I believe today is the day to make that decision that you want to succeed. Whenever you come up with an excuse, your mind closes. And the definition of an excuse is a well-planned lie. When you are looking for solutions, they seriously present themselves. They wind up right in front of you. I remember a show that we did recently where it was talking about needing to make extra money. And I was blown away by all of our faithful listeners who called in to say, this is the ways I found to make extra money. It was a powerhouse of a show. You need to know that you have everything inside of yourself to switch something in your head that says, done. I am sick and tired of living into my excuses. I am sick and tired of settling for less. I'm sick and tired of being in this rut. It's time I do something about it. Then you find solutions when you're looking for them. But when you're looking for excuses by reaching for the first excuse that's available to you, well, then you find that. And then years fly by and you still are not where you want to be. And then, of course, you turn into some people who just think that everyone should just buy you everything. I have a family member just recently was like, hey, you need to buy me this for my birthday. I'm like, wow, this individual's never remembered my birthday, like ever, in 40-something years, and yet has the gall to tell me, because I have money, that I should be buying him a personal computer. Really? Woo! Single person. That's amazing. But that's what we will become. If we live a life of excuses, we look to others that have something and somehow feel entitled to what they have instead of learning how to work and get what we want. Period. So, I don't know what's stopping you from that's holding you back. If you want to be in business and something is holding you back from becoming that entrepreneur, I want to hear what that excuse is, and let's obliterate that sucker. So we've got Shanelle Adams from Alberta, Canada. What's your excuse, honey?
Well, you know what? I had seen your Facebook post not too long ago asking what's holding you back from starting a business, and at the time I had put down making time to take that first step.
Yep.
And as I was listening to your show just now, I'm realizing that part of the reason why I haven't taken that first step and I've procrastinated was because I didn't really have an end goal in mind. I didn't really have a vision of what success looked like for me, what I wanted my life to look like.
Yep.
So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm realizing that the reason why I haven't been making any steps is because I haven't really figured out where it is that I'd like to end up so that I could actually start making a plan to get there.
This is so true. Now check it out. This is the funniest thing. 98% of the population complains about what they do not have, but they have no idea what they want.
Yeah. I could believe that.
Isn't that crazy? They complain about what they do not have, yet they do not know what they want. It's
exactly.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. No, but what you're saying is so true. I have to tell you this terrible story. It's a terrible story, Shanelle. Okay, so you know that I started a business from the trunk of my car in a payphone booth, right? I was a homeless woman. I made my first $1 million in 2 years. Now, that would seem to be an overnight success, but it truly isn't because I had had a business failure a year and a half before. I was 19 years old when I started my first business. The first 6 months, I failed miserably. Then I invested because I was failing, and someone told me that you might as well quit if I keep on the same path because I'm not going to succeed if I keep doing what I'm doing right now. So he told me about a training seminar. It was really expensive. I was going to have to fly. It was going to cost me like $1,500 when it was all said and done. I didn't have that kind of money. I hadn't made any money for 6 months. I was living on my credit cards, paying rent with my credit cards. But I went, and I made $4,000 in 8 days after using the information. 8 days, $4,000, same business. Wow. Same exact business, same product, same everything, okay? In 6 months, I made $50,000 with that same 6 months before that I failed, in that next 6 months, and what did I do? I learned new skills. I invested into training. Every month, I was in another state, in another city, learning from this multi-millionaire, teaching business skills, and they obviously paid off. But then I got married, and my business was embezzled, and I ended up flat broke with a $35,000 debt, $2.03 to my name. But look, if you look from 19 to almost 22, okay, it was several years that it took me to make my first $1 million. And I made a lot of mistakes after I made my first $1 million. So I was not an overnight success. I spent all the money like an idiot. But when we continue, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of vision with business. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
No donkeys, no elephants, no blaming, and no excuses. Just real solutions that will really change things. That's real leadership. Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
This is The Dani Johnson Show.
So there I was. I start this business, I make my first $1 million, and I spend it all like an idiot. My vision for business in my early years was stuff. Yep. I wanted to pay cash for Mercedes. Yep, I wanted to spend $4,000 in cash at Nordstrom all in one day. Yep, I wanted to eat out all the time. That is what drove me in the beginning until I had all of that and just went, meh, this really doesn't mean anything. It's pretty much just useless. It's not worth it. It wasn't valuable to me once I achieved it. And so I'm on the phone right now with Shanelle Adams from Alberta, Canada, who said, I just can't ever really find the time to start a business. And then she realized in this conversation, well, actually, I don't even know why I want to start a business. That's why she hasn't started one. When you figure out what you want and why you want to do it, and it is worth your time, there's nothing that will stop you from becoming successful. And I mean, absolutely nothing will stop you from becoming successful. So, Shanelle, what do you want to do with your life?
Well, you know what? I've actually been really wanting to do freelance graphic design. And so...
Why?
Actually, because I've been volunteering for a nonprofit and doing design work kind of part-time for them, and I've realized that it's something that I'd love to do more full-time and donate kind of my services as well to like organizations like that and helping them out by doing graphic design on that end, and then just helping people promote their businesses by creating nice print, like ads and business cards and that kind of thing that would help promote their business. So that's something that I've been wanting to do.
Oh, that's a business right there. You can actually start a business using that skill. But at the end of the day, is that enough to get you out of bed? Just helping those other businesses. Come on, honey. You don't have a dream.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't. Why are you on this planet?
That's what I've been trying to
figure out. Okay,
Yeah.
Well, let me go here. We live in a society that has told us that we are defined by what we do instead of by who we are. And so most people that I've worked with, hundreds of thousands, most people, what I have found is they're always looking for a career that is going to satisfy them. It's never the career that defines you. And it's not the career itself that brings satisfaction at all. You can get bored easy. It can become a pain in the butt. Motivation doesn't come from what you do. It comes from within you. And so a lot of people are always looking for that outside thing to validate the inside hole, to try to tell me who I am and what is my purpose. The purpose is never the job that we do. The purpose, the job is nothing but the means to an end. It's the vehicle, if you will. So, for example, you'll end up feeling very dissatisfied and unfulfilled, just like you have with other jobs you've had, even if you pursue this graphic design business. You'll still feel like you did before because you're not solving the real problem here. A man without a vision will perish. A man without a vision will perish. A job in a business is like a car. It is to take you to where you want to go. If you don't know where you want to go, you don't know what the destination is, you end up driving yourself in circles and driving yourself crazy. So the car itself is nothing but the transportation mechanism. That's the job. The job is the transportation mechanism. I'll give you a prime example. I personally am not, doing business is not my passion. Doing what I'm doing right now is not my passion. My passion is taking care of the poor. My passion is building homes for the extreme poor, helping dreams come true for people who have nothing. And their dream is simple. Their dream is, I would like to have a home that has walls and a roof that doesn't leak. I would like to have food for my family, because some days we don't eat. It would be great if the water supply was closer so I don't send my 5-year-old on a 6-mile walk with a big bucket on her head. And the chances of her being raped are high, and she's collecting dirty water. So I would like to have water close by, that we don't have to walk miles to get dirty water, but it would be great to have clean water. It's so simple to help those kind of dreams come true for people. Wow. And the gratitude, and you changed an entire generation when this miracle comes in. That motivates me. Taking care of the orphan, taking care of getting kids out of the sex trade. That motivates me. That's what gets me out of bed. Not my business, not my job. That doesn't get me out of bed. That doesn't motivate me. But the lives that are going to be changed as a direct result of the work that I do, now that gets me out of bed. So again, my business is a vehicle to help me get to where I want to go. So Shanelle, where do you want to go?
Well, as I hear you describe that, it's actually, I'm realizing the reason why I want to become an entrepreneur is to be able to be more in control of my time. The business, my boss that I actually work for, he actually owns a business, but it allows him to do humanitarian work, which is what I'm interested in. Like right now, one of my passions is actually going towards helping women who are sex trafficking, like human sex trafficking, and that type of work, and working with the local nonprofit organization, helping women get out of that industry. So, I'm actually wanting to free up my time. I was thinking becoming an entrepreneur would help me to be able to set my hours more so that I could volunteer my time and do more things like travel and
no.
That would help me.
No. I want you to go interview 10 business owners and see how many of them actually have a lot of free time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see, the guy who owns the company you work for, he has his priorities straight, and he understands that his business is nothing but the car, the transportation mechanism to help him do his humanitarian work. Most business owners are owned by their business. This man has the right priority. His business is only a vehicle. It's just a mechanism to help fund his humanitarian work. What if you saw your job the same way? And what if you aligned forces with your boss and you picked his brain and said, I love your priorities. I respect you so much because I want to help people like you have helped people. Would you be willing to tell me how I could improve in my job and what places I could get so much better so that I could actually have a little bit more control over my time so I can go and help these women get out of the sex trade? I want to help your business grow, and will you teach me how I can do that so I can have the freedom a couple of times a year, a few times a year, to go and help more, and even how I can increase my income so I can take more money and actually help fund these projects that are helping women to get out of the sex trade.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because guess what? If you do that for him, I promise you, you can negotiate the amount of time that you want off. Because I promise you this, so many of us think that full-time, we just want to have full-time effort in that sex trade. There's very few that are called to that. Most of us, if we could just for a couple of times a year have 2 weeks to go do something like that, oh my gosh, that makes everything worth it for us, right? Versus full-time on the ground doing that kind of thing, having your own charity, running that thing. Because when you run your own charity, now you got to go recruit donors. Now you got to build relationship with the donors. And now guess what you're not doing?
Yeah.
You're actually not doing the humanitarian work yourself.
Right.
Do you understand? Now you have a charity, which is a full-time business and needs marketing, needs to manage employees, needs to manage money, needs to report to the IRS, needs to keep all the legal things in order. Do you understand? It's all of that craziness that gets us bogged down and takes us away from it. And then those people are going, I should have just kept volunteering. I should have just kept making money. I just had a 9 to 5. I should have just kept making money and donate the money and then donate my time a few hours a week or a few hours a month or 2 weeks a year or, 4 weeks a year or whatever. Okay? Right. Does that make sense? I want you to go with this humanitarian thing that you want to do. You're called to it, girlfriend. You're called to it. So utilize your strength and ability. You are surrounded already. You already have the outlet of who to help, and you already have the model of the business that you work for. And you don't have to take on the responsibility of all the pressure and the taxes and the legal of owning the stupid thing. You can let that guy who figured out how to do that and ask him, where can I improve? Where can I add more value? Because I have a goal of how much I want to give to this organization, and I want to be able to be trusted so well with my time, and I want to become so valuable here so I can do what you do, and that is to spend more time in humanitarian places.
That is awesome.
Yes, it is, baby. Hey, listen, I don't know if you have this yet or not, but go now to the website, DaniJohnson.com. Check out Job Domination, because it's going to show you even things your boss doesn't even know that will help his business grow and you become more valuable and have more control over your time. Job Domination at DaniJohnson.com. I can't wait to hear your story. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
So what's keeping you stuck? It's time to get it out of your way for good. Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
In your face and in your corner. You've never had a coach like this before. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
Talent is cheaper than table salt. Who says that? I'm going to say it again. That's a doozy, isn't it? Talent is cheaper than table salt, says Stephen King. Hello, Stephen King, best-selling author. He also says what separates the talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work. Most people are just not willing to work hard and smart to help them get to where they want to go. Man, that last segment, I was talking to Shanelle about the purpose of work. It's nothing but a vehicle to take you to where you want to go, meaning where the vehicle stops is a destination. The vehicle itself is not the destination. Do you understand? So our job, our work, being a business owner, I've been a business owner for 2.5 decades, almost 3 decades. I can't even believe I can say that. Almost 3 decades I've been a business owner. And as a business owner, there are so many details. There is so much. I mean, it's a lot, especially with, how big you want to grow your business. Once you reach into the millions, there's all different kinds of reporting. There's all kinds of traps. There's just a ton. When it's you and one other employee, easy breezy, no problem. When you got lots of them, it's a totally different game, totally different story. But the business itself is not your destination. But it is something that helps to fund something that's more important. And in that last segment, I was talking to you about what gets me. And if there isn't something that gets you, it's time to be looking for something that gets you. And I want you to do it aggressively.
I want you to find something that pierces your heart. And if your heart cannot be pierced, you got to be dead. You got to be dead inside. A man without a vision will perish. That goes for the women and the children too. You have to have a vision. I didn't have a vision in the beginning, but it took hanging out with other people that had vision. And first I gravitated towards their vision. And initially, their vision was making millions of dollars and living in a big old house and having a second and third house out in the Caribbean. You got to have a yacht, an airplane, and you got to have a Humvee, you got to have a limo, you got to have big fat diamonds. And you know what? Initially, I grabbed onto that vision that I thought was success. Then I started getting all of the things that money could buy, and I was like, oh my gosh, it just wasn't me. No, thank you. I don't want anything to do with it. It was a pressure. It was burden. Not to mention all the debt that went along with it because I was stupid and I wouldn't be patient to make the money. But instead, I funded the house, the $1 million house, like an idiot instead of making enough money to pay cash for it. The house would have been much sweeter if I paid cash for it. Having a giant mortgage is not success in my book. It is terrible. I rather rent than have a giant mortgage, than to have a mortgage at all. I rather rent than to carry that burden of that kind of debt. So anyway, I was telling you about something, speaking of houses, that gets me out of bed. I want you to just consider, because if you haven't had something prick your heart yet that is bigger than the job, because your vision, your passion has to be bigger than what you do for a living. It has to be bigger than the business. The business, again, is your vehicle of transportation. That's all it is. It's the transportation to take you to where you want to go. You got to figure out where you want to go. So we are going to Nicaragua, and we are building 1,000 homes for the extreme poor in Nicaragua. People who do not have homes, people that do not have food, people that do not have pantries, they don't have cupboards, they don't have water. They send their kids for miles with a bucket to collect dirty water, okay? Bad set of circumstances, and there's nothing like, I want you to imagine, you and I, in one of the most beautiful countries that you will ever see. Nicaragua is gorgeous and precious, wonderful, sweet people. So here you and I are together right on this ground, and we just finished building homes for these people. Imagine going to the dwelling that they're living in, putting them in a van, tell them to grab their belongings, putting them and their family in a van, and we drive them over to this brand new development that is a neighborhood, something they've never seen in their lives, they've never seen. They have their own well. They pump their own water. They have a bathroom. They have a kitchen. They have a house. They have beds, and there's furniture that we put inside this house. They've got a chicken coop outside with chickens in there laying eggs already. So they got food for today and tomorrow, and they are going to learn business skills so they can learn how to market that business. There's a sewing machine and sewing classes, and a school has been built for their kids as well as for them. So they will not raise another illiterate generation, but their kids are going to have an education and have a future. Could you imagine you and I doing this together? Could you imagine how powerful that would be? Join us. There's a whole group of us. We're already underway. 40 homes will be complete here in just a couple of weeks. 40 homes done. And we're handing out keys. We're going to do it again in August. We're going to build 1,000 homes. Go to kingsransom.org. Again, that's kingsransom.org. Right on the homepage, you'll see a beautiful little Nicaraguan girl. It's the Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. Click on that and find out what you can do to join us on this adventure. You can do that right now. Again, that's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, or you can call this phone number. It's 888-291-7123. Again, that's 888-291-7123. Come on, I want you to come with me. We should do this together. What is it? You know what? When you don't have a vision, you blow money on Starbucks. When you don't have a vision, you eat out all the time. When you don't have a vision, you shop online for clothes that you don't need. When you don't have a vision, you eat all the wrong foods that you know you shouldn't eat. When you don't have a vision, you throw away food. You let food go bad in your pantry and in your fridge and your freezer. When you don't have a vision, you're buying the next iPhone. You're buying another new computer. You're buying another new car. You're going more further in debt. When you don't have a vision, you fill your life with stuff. You fill your neck surrounded by chains called debt, and you lose sleep at night. But when you got a vision, you got a passion, and it's worth living for. So today, we're going to finish this conversation. Again, why did I bring up this part of the conversation? Because we're talking about that motivation to start something new, to make more money, to start a business, and what's holding you back from doing the things that you want to do. So we've got Connie.
Jackson from Minnesota online. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thank you.
Talent is cheaper than table salt. Wow, what a statement he made. Hard work. Okay, so you say you want to start 2 businesses. Why haven't you?
Well, I've been focusing on family. I've always worked, and I have a son with Asperger's, so that's been my primary focus throughout the years. And
why do you want to start 2 businesses?
Not 2. I just want to start a business where I can also help other people. My goal is, I feel like God's pushing me to give me a vision of a business where I can also benefit other people from it.
Yep.
I am very much a people person, and I want to give back.
Yep.
And, whether it might be volunteering or it might be incorporating it into the business.
Why don't you start there, Connie? Why don't you take a talent that you have, and I don't care if it's cleaning houses, cooking, running errands, playing cards with the elderly. I don't care what it is. You have a lot of skills that you don't even know that you have. Take those skills and go serve. Go help. Go benefit people. And as you do that, a business may be birthed out of that. You could take the profits of that business and give all the profits away if you have a hard time being paid. Reminds me again of a client of ours. He lost everything. Guess what he did? He started just volunteering to help widows. That was it. He just said, I'm going to help widows. He's flat broke. I'm going to offer my services of being a handyman to only widows. That turned into getting referrals to non-widows that made him $100,000 from May to December. By what? Serving those in need. Go do it. Start today. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, I'm scared to start a business. That's where Kelli finds herself from Florida. Kelli, what are you afraid of?
Myself.
Wait, okay, that's a little strange. You're afraid of yourself?
Just the fear of not being good enough, the fear of, will people like me? Will they, accept my business? Will
Nope.
they want to join me?
They won't like you, and they won't like your business. But if you talk to enough people, you will find the few that will like your business and will like you.
I guess that's true. You're right.
I'm telling you the truth. There are many that won't like you, and they won't like your business. So the question is will that stop you to finding the few that will?
No, I feel like this is a vision that God very, very clearly laid out for me because I was unhappy in my position that I'm in now, working, 80,000 hours a week. I travel all of the time. I have 2 small children, so I've just been praying and praying and praying, and I really do feel
So you feel like God is telling you to start a business and you have not obeyed.
Well, and
This is really simple. It's really simple. Repent. Repent. That if God has told you to start a business, that He has told you, I don't want you working 80,000 hours a week. I want you to be home with your kids. And here are some ideas of what you can do to generate income. And you've said, but I'm scared. The same God that raised Jesus from the dead, the same God that created the heavens and the earth, and you're looking at Him in the face and you're saying, but I'm scared. God, don't you know, you made some people to not like me. You think He's surprised about that?
No.
Not at all. Step up, girlfriend. At this point, it's a question of obedience or rebellion.
You're right. I'm actually launching my business next week. I'm working my very last week with my current job, and
good job.
Starting next week.
So that means you don't have time to entertain fear. You do not have time to worry about whether or not someone's going to like it. If he gave it to you, there is a people already assigned to it. There are customers already waiting for you to open your mouth. And yes, there will be resistance. And yes, there will be people that will say no. And yes, there will be people who think you're nuts, crazy, and stupid. Yes. That's how it goes.
Thinking of it.
This is called business. If everyone said yes, you would be in heaven. We ain't there yet. You'd be dead. That's how it works. This is Dani Johnson. Hey, I know you enjoyed today's program. Freely you received it. Freely give it. Pass it on to other people. Please get on Twitter or Facebook or whatever your social media outlet is and let people know about today's program. And don't forget to get your daily fix on the website, DaniJohnson.com, where I write you a personal note every day to keep you on track. Things like we talk about on this show. We all need an advocate working for us. I'm here for you. God is here for you. It's time to succeed, and today is the day to do it. God bless. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Did you hear that last segment? Do you know someone else who needs to hear it? Go to DaniJohnson.com, find today's show, and share it online.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson YouTube channel. We're super excited to have you here. And every single week, we're going to make sure that you get awesome videos for your business, career, making more money, saving money, annihilating your debt, as well as helping you to handle those really tough problems that you have with people at home as well as at work, and taking those really good relationships you already have and causing them to flourish and grow. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right down here. Click that and you'll be subscribed to an amazing community of people as well as some great videos that will help to improve your life. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe now would be good. Just click it. I know you can see it. It's somewhere down here. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.